Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to On the Same Wavelength with me, Ashwath Srivatsan. Thanks for dropping by. It's a late Wednesday night, and I'm just recording the politics segment to get this out. It'll probably be coming out early Thursday morning or something like that, because I usually like to go to bed early. So, yeah, there's that. Let's get right to it, starting with, because we're doing politics, I thought we would start with, politics, obviously, duh. And we're starting with ISIS. So, I'm sure all of you have been following the situation in Syria with ISIS and Syria and Iraq, and how the Islamic State has formed, and they have beheaded several journalists. I've talked about this a bit before in my first podcast, and basically how they've been rising in power in this general region. And I'm here to say that the US has successfully launched its first airstrike, or its first few airstrikes against ISIS, and they've destroyed several large oil facilities in Syria, which are the oil facilities, which I mentioned earlier, that give ISIS the profit it needs to run itself. Now, it's still going to be making profit and gaining revenue from the black market and other sources. However, it's good to see that we have some success here and that we're cutting off ISIS slowly. Just a bit of sort of extra fun facts about the airstrike. So we are using warplanes, and along with the United States, there are 5 Arab Middle Eastern countries in the UN who have decided to help out with the front, including Turkey and Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. And we have had drones and warplanes both in the airstrikes. They have been using Tomahawk missiles, which the US has been buying in 200 stock per year. I guess 200 missiles per year. That may not seem like a lot. First of all, it's a fair amount. 200 missiles per year is a lot of missiles. And second of all, that is, these missiles are each worth around $1 million. So that's $200 million per year. The US is planning on dropping this down within the next few years to 100 missiles per year, and then cutting off the purchase of Tomahawk missiles. So, that's a little fun tidbit. Along with that, it looks like the main, the pilot of the, first plane to head the front, in the airstrikes, against Syria, against the Islamic State, in Syria and Iraq, was actually a woman, which, that's pretty cool, because, from a primarily male-dominated army, we're seeing lots of strong female power come out and show presence. The woman who took place, 35-year-old Mariam al-Mansouri, who was with the United Arab Emirates Air Force, and it's pretty cool that she took part in the airstrike, was the first fighter pilot to be dropping bombs on the ISIS militants. So that's another fun little tidbit. Let's move on a bit. This is a bit less politics and a bit more of the sciencey stuff, but I thought I would bring it up this episode anyways. India has just put a spacecraft into orbit around Mars. So this is India's first interplanetary mission, which placed a satellite into orbit on Mars around this morning, I would say, catapulting the entire country into an elite club of deep space explorers. Now, the significance of India's satellite is, namely, it's extremely cost-effective. For India having a large amount of homeless people, and there's a large amount of people living below even $2 per day, it's very, very cool that India was able to do this, but they weren't excessively wasting money. Actually, something about space flights in general is that in the US, on average, space flight to launch any satellite or any other spaceship into orbit or basically off of the planet usually costs less than it does to make a movie. So it's very cool that India used cutting-edge technology, really. Very innovative technology at a low budget to launch the satellite into orbit around Mars. So that's the deal with India. And finally, I'm doing 3 news articles this time. It seems that the Nigerian military claims that they have defeated the leader of Boko Haram. You may know recently, within the past, I would say the past few months or so, maybe 3 or 4 months back, I think, Boko Haram, a Islamic group in Nigeria that seeks to enforce strict Sharia law, kidnapped over 200 schoolgirls, and not all of them, in fact, the majority of these schoolgirls are still missing. However, it seems that the Nigeria military has defeated their leader, Abadu, oh man, I feel really bad about this because I can't pronounce his name. Abubakar Sheku. I'll maybe put that on the screen or something so you can try and pronounce it. I don't know. But it seems that it's possible that the leader is dead. However, some of the members of Boko Haram have come forward and released a statement saying that it was merely a look-alike. Either way, it shows that the Nigerian military is making progress against Boko Haram, and is finding a way to get into their main base and maybe get a step closer to finding the rest of the kidnapped schoolgirls. Now, that's going to be all for the news this week in politics. Be sure to stick around on Sunday when I see you and discuss science. That'll be super awesome. Also, be sure to check out the rest of my YouTube channel to see any animation videos that I'll be posting this weekend or throughout the week. And that's all for now. And be sure to stick around. I'm just gonna run over and give you the, well, not run over because I'm still sitting in a chair, but I'm going to tell you the phrase/word of the week, and I'm going to tell you, I'll play for you the song of the week. So, let's start with the word of the week. The word of the week, I've decided, is bastion. Bastion, that is a sanctuary. It's a sort... It's like a keystone area, an area where people can come together, and where culture is preserved. It's also a really cool video game that you should totally play, Bastion. It's a great game. But that's our word of the week. I chose Bastion because I wrote an English essay in which I used Bastion, and it's a very nice word. It has a sort of rustic, almost robust feel to it, which I quite enjoy. And though it may not come into everyday speech that often, I think it's a lovely word. And our song of the week is going to be from the Inception soundtrack. It's going to be Time. So typically I'm listening while I'm recording these. I'm listening to some form of music, or I have the audio so that it plays back what I'm saying so that I can hear myself, which I don't like as much, but I do that. So I'm currently listening to Time because I chose that as my song of the week. Either I'm listening to myself talk or I'm listening to the song that then comes up in the video. But yeah, that's our song of the week. It's a pretty deep song. Well, it sounds very deep and emotional, and it's a very enjoyable song to listen to. So that's why I've chosen it for this week. Well, I guess this half week, the song and phrase / word of the half week. So be sure to stick around and check that out. In the meantime, before we get to that, I'd just like to say thanks for watching and sticking around for This Week in History. I really appreciate that. Be sure to stop by on Sunday if you want to watch or listen to me talk about the recent... God, if you want to hear me talk about current events and science, But yeah, thanks for listening in, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!